Well, fantastic. Thanks. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me. And as Wade said, I am alum. I was sitting in those seats. All those look like much nicer seats than I used to sit in many years ago. And now I live in Boulder, Colorado. And so I've been working with founders and entrepreneurs for the past 20 years. I founded three different companies myself, and this is my latest venture. Most recently, I was the COO of Techstars. And while there, I identified a gap in what I thought was the market between the idea stage into kind of the accelerator and later stage entrepreneurs. And so I wanted to build something to help them, and I wanted to help bridge that gap. And so what we've come up with is gozigzag.com. And this is really based on some research that was done by Harvard and MIT back in 2017. They initially approached Techstars and said, we think we can use AI, and we'd like to train our model to see if we can select companies and compare how we select them to the output of the companies that you select. And so we gave them 3 years of our application data, and they came back and said, on par, we can select companies. Our model can select companies as well as your managing directors. And it was always something that was fascinating to me, being able to use kind of objective data to make these decisions. And while this was still back in 2017, it was still before the world of OpenAI and ChatGPT came along. When I left Techstars, I said, this is something I want to do. And so this is the product that we've built. And what this does, it's really quite simple. With a single sentence of a business concept, we will build out your entire business validation plan for you in about 90 seconds. And so the best way to do this is just show you. So we'll log in. So I just go to gozigzag.com. I'm going to log in here. Normally when you log in, I've logged in several times, but normally when you log in, it'll ask you to log in either through Google or LinkedIn or Microsoft. My ask is just log in with your CSULB email address. That would be great. So the first thing you do is you'll come to a page like this, and it just enter your startup idea. And so, this is an idea that someone gave me recently, a doggy daycare center inside Fortune 500 companies, so employees will come to the office. So a way to incent employees to come back to the office. And what you do is you just click go, this unleash your startup idea. And so what happens then is you'll start to see that the business type or the business prototype and the validation of the storytelling engine, these will all start spinning, and you'll see that they're starting to work. And then what happens, again, everything I show you is going to happen in about 90 seconds, but this has already been launched. So what happens is the first thing we're going to do is fill out an entire lean canvas. And this is a traditional lean canvas that you've probably all seen before. It has all the same attributes and things like that. But we've actually enhanced it. And the way we've enhanced it, we'll click on the details button here, is in the customer segments, for example, we had just listed the personas: busy professionals, pet loving executives, frequent corporate. But now we've actually built out a persona. We've built out the customer jobs and the pain points. So we've given you additional information that you can use. Again, if I scroll down, in the existing alternatives, not only do I give you direct and indirect competitors, but also some alternative solutions. And this is what I think of as, when you're an entrepreneur, you're often so focused on what you're building, you forget to look 1 or 2 degrees right or left. This is one of those things that I say, it just helps you kind of expose you to some other thoughts you might have with your idea. Similarly, with the solution, we give you the traditional features, but then all these potential ways to play that you may not have considered, holistic dog, care, innovative staff training, membership packages, all of those different things. And so we offer these suggestions to you just to get you to broaden your horizon, broaden your perspective a little bit. So the rest of this is all traditional lean canvas. So what we'll do is we'll go back to this homepage. And what I think of is this is part 1. And based on that prompt, you can fine tune it. You can say you want people to come back 4 days a week, or you want different companies or something like that. But once you're comfortable with the prompt that you've created in the output, now the next thing you do is you have to validate. Does someone actually want this idea? And so that's the next section we go down to, is the validation. And so we offer all these different hypotheses. Is it desirable? Go do a customer interview. Is it feasible? Do an expert interview. Do a validation survey. The biggest one, do a financial projection. Do an analysis of that. And what we want to do is just start planting the seeds of how you can go about validating your idea and whether this could be successful or not. Recognizing that a lot of the idea stage entrepreneurs don't really know how to do this, we want to be supportive. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to give you a list of questions that we generate for you. So this typically it's 20, 25 questions that will help you go out and do this validation and ask these questions. So just have a list here that you can use. Then going back, the next thing we do now that you validate is you have to tell your story. Now, this is the key part, because how are you going to pitch yourself? So we give you the brand wheel, your mission, your vision, your values. I may not know what your values are, but I'm giving you a framework with which you can work in. So convenience seems like a good one. Employee well-being, quality care. It's up to you. You can use these or you can use your own. And what I think of this is really, it's eliminating writer's block. Like, I didn't even know where to start coming up with my mission. So we've given you basically a template. I didn't know about my values. I've given you a framework with which to work in. And then if we further expand this, we'll also look at kind of the visual identity as well. So down here, tone of voice, messaging, visual identity. So it gives you all of that information. But of course, with any startup, you have to name it. And so we'll give you a list of names that we've come up with. And you see Possum Work and the story that why we created that. And this first name in the list is always going to be the name that we'll use to store this idea with, and also use in your elevator pitch. So we give you a handful of names. It's about 15 different names. Then going over to the elevator pitch, did you know Fortune 500 companies struggle to motivate employees to come to the office regularly? And then here it is, introducing Possum Work. So it gives you all of that information. So it gives you a place to start and really start you on your way. Again, we're trying to eliminate writer's block. I'm not saying that this is the right thing or the wrong thing. What I'm saying is here's a place to start. Oops. So then we'll go back one more step. So I've kind of gone a little out of order because I think it shows better this way. So now you've created your startup idea, you've validated your idea, you've told a story. Well, one thing is you want to share your story. And so if I scroll back down here, I skipped this before, here's a landing page. We're actually going to create on the fly a landing page for you with your idea. So there's the name, Possum Work. We're going to show the key benefits. We're going to have some AI generated images for you. Of course, you have to have a testimonial whenever you're out working with pitching your idea. Here's some features. Got this dog sitting right in the middle of a conference room table. So we do all of that on the fly. Again, all of this is done in about 90 seconds. And then the one other thing I'll show you is over here on the left. These are all the different ideas. So I had different ideas here, and I just chose Possum Work as one to show you. Now, this could be Possum Work version 1, version 2, or it could be 10 different ideas. It's up to you how you want to use that. And then we also provide this resource library. This resource library, it'll take just a second here to load, is about, I don't know, 100, 115 different kind of hand-selected articles that may be helpful to you. So how to hire someone, leadership, management, finance, marketing, pitching. Pitching, obviously, a very important one, product market fit. So all of those are all included here. And then you can see some are blog posts, some are YouTube videos, some are LinkedIn posts. So these are the ones that we've curated over the last year or so that we find are the best resources for entrepreneurs when they want to build their new business. So lastly, I'll go back to Possum Work. And what we'll do is I'll scroll down one more time. We've covered all of this, storytelling, all of this information. What our vision is for us in the future is knowing that entrepreneurs still need help in building. Like, we've given them a lot with this. I want to be able in the future to connect you with a mentor. So maybe Jenny here is an expert in Fortune 500 companies, and George is an expert in veterinary care. And if we can connect those people to you, we can help you grow your business faster. Along the same line, we also want to be able to introduce you to different investors or accelerator programs once you're ready at that stage. So that's kind of the vision of where we're going. But what's nice here is we have access to all these different perks. So these are live now. So if you needed access to Dropbox or Notion, for example, you could select those and get 6 months free of Notion or Carta for free. We also work with service providers. So if you don't have the ability to build your product, you could hire Profig. They're an offshore development company. Forecaster, a great company. It's a tech store company that I've known for years. They do great financial modeling for you. You know, if you're a UK company, it's based there. So we have about 20 different perks that are available, and they're all available to all of you as well to use. And with that is kind of the high level overview of the demo. and be happy to answer any questions. I'll go back up to the top here and open it up to any questions anyone might have.
Does anybody have a question?
We're all going to have access.
Everybody will have access to this, and you'll need to log in with your student ID. If you're from the community, let me know. Find an alternative.
Hi Scott, this is Rahul. I have a very quick
Hi.
question. I just wanted
Sure.
to know like how much time does it took to make this product?
Well, we've been working on this for about 10 months at this point. So we officially launched it last June. We obviously started working on it a few months before then, but we've been iterating on this for about 10 months now.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Anybody else? So is it designed to provide input into writing your business plan as opposed to actually writing your business plan?
That's a great question. And so I also teach entrepreneurship at the University of Colorado Boulder. And so what I tell my students is you can use this to help supplement your business plan. This is not your business plan. This should be a supplement. You should definitely source your material when you use this. You should cite that information. And the one thing I caution everyone is this is artificial intelligence, and it is not perfect. There are known, what are they called, hallucinations that could come up. And so while I can get you kind of out the door on your way, is it 70%? Is it 80%? Is it 95% accurate? I don't know. And so it's really up to you to go and to read through everything, double check everything, and make sure that you're comfortable with it. The feedback that we've gotten from our user base is it's about 95% rated as highly or mostly accurate. So we feel very confident, but even so, there's still maybe 5% could be wrong. So definitely go and use this. Don't just use this as cut and paste, but make sure you validate everything before you do that. One word of caution I'd put is we use OpenAI as our back end, and obviously with a large language model, it's only as smart as the last time it was updated. And so this version is using a combination of ChatGPT 3.5 and 4.0, and so depending on when it was last updated, some information may not be accurate. So as an example, 6 months ago, if you had asked this about pickleball, it would not really know what pickleball was, because pickleball has become such a phenomenon in just the last couple of years, and the model just hasn't caught up. Now it knows more about pickleball. So if you're using something that just happened yesterday, if you're asking about the 2024 presidential election and you've got some idea for an app, it's probably not going to be very helpful in that sense. But you can broaden that to a more general ask, and it should be very accurate.
Okay. Do you have any pointers on how to frame the initial question that starts the whole process?
Yeah, so like the beauty of it is you could type a single sentence, but at the same time, you could type in a paragraph. You could give it as much information as you want. What I always recommend is, just be clear, like what you're building and for whom you're building. I think that's the key thing. A lot of people say like a bakery. Okay, a bakery for what? For whom? Oh, it's a bakery for dogs. It's a bakery that's for dogs who have allergies. The more you can tease out of that and give it a little bit more prompting, the better your results will be.
All right. Any questions? The cautionary tale is do look at the material before you use any of it to make sure it is part of that 95% that's accurate. And do the writing yourself. Don't just cut and paste. Make sure it's your story. Any comments, Frank?
Well, I'm just thinking how we're going to have to adjust things because they're all going to use it. And so
Yep.
I almost think that part of the process would be, since you're going to use this, show what comes out, and then you show how you changed it as you went through it to actually come up with your business plan. Because it's a tool. We can't say you can't use the tools, right? So, but you're right, you know, it's just not right to just say, here, magic box, give me a business plan and that's it. That's not gonna work. OpenAI cannot start a business. And it doesn't do the numbers. So I'm still needed.
All right.
That's exactly right. And one of the most common topics I speak on, I'm speaking at South by Southwest here next month, is on the power of human AI collaboration, and how the human can only do so much, the AI can only do so much, but they're very powerful when you combine them together. So it's definitely a marriage. It's not something solo. So definitely, be considerate of that and think, you're only as smart as the prompt you put in. It's only as smart as the data it's been trained on. So then you have to validate, you as the human have to validate what the data is telling you, what the AI is telling you.
Yes.
I have a quick question. So can we interact with this platform in order to improve the answer this platform gave us? Basically, if you, for the chat GPT, if you ask the prompt, like, give me this business plan, it will give the particular business plan. And then we ask more question, or we say, oh, include the numbers, or, we just write the more prompt in order to improve the answer. So basically, can we do on this platform, or we just have to start again?
So what you would have to do is, as an example, in here, this doggy daycare center, what you would have to do is adjust this. And what you can do is adjust that. And then on the left side, you could have version 1, 2, 3, 4, if you choose, or you can just keep adjusting and resetting. So as an example, I recently worked with a company that had a co-working space. So there was a in-person facility, and their idea didn't say, their business elevator pitch did not say they had an in-person facility. And so what I had to do was go back and iterate 2 or 3 times and physically say, specifically say, this is a physical office space in downtown San Francisco. And then it understood, oh, I need to include that as part of my response. So you would iterate here in this initial prompt area.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.